Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're taking a slightly different approach. We're looking not at a huge text itself, but at how one podcast series is planning to, introduce our source material. It's an introductory script for a show about the Bhagavad Gita. It's actually a really interesting way to see how this ancient wisdom is being framed for us today. Gives you a bit of a shortcut to understanding its core ideas and why it still matters. So this script, right from the start, it calls the Bhagavad Gita one of the most profound spiritual texts ever written. Makes it clear it's more than just a book and the core. It's presented as this deep conversation, a dialogue between Lord Krishna and Arjuna. Arjuna, he's this warrior prince, and he's just standing there on a battlefield feeling, confused, afraid, and overwhelmed.
Yeah, and what's really insightful about this intro script isn't just what it says, but how it's sort of positioning the Gita. It emphasizes that this whole dialogue set on the battlefield of Kurukshetra isn't just ancient history. No, it's presented as this powerful metaphor. It represents the inner conflicts we all face in life. So Arjuna's confusion, his fear, it's meant to resonate with our own struggles. Those times we feel lost or unsure, it makes it universal.
Right. And beyond just the setup, the script immediately tackles why these old questions still hit home now. It points out that, in our world full of chaos, fast-paced living, and mental distractions, we just don't really stop much. We don't often pause to ask those big fundamental questions, stuff like, what is the right thing to do? Or why am I here? Even the more personal ones, like, what's my duty supposed to be? Or simply, how do I find some peace in all this noise? And these are exactly the kinds of things the Gita, at least as this intro presents it, helps you explore.
Exactly. And the intro really makes it clear that the Gita's wisdom isn't confined to just one box.
Yeah.
It really stresses it's not just about religion, it's broader. It's about self-awareness. It's about dharma, which you can think of as like your purpose or righteous duty. It's about karma, that whole action and consequence principle. Inner peace, purpose, all of that. And what I find fascinating is how much it emphasizes accessibility. It literally says you don't need to be a scholar to understand it. It frames the whole thing as practical wisdom for everyone, not some dusty academic text.
Oh, okay. So if it's accessible wisdom, how does the script say we can actually, get into it? How do we apply it? Well, it tells us the podcast series. It's introducing plans to break the text down, one chapter at a time. And it'll focus on the key shlokas, those really core verses, the ones packed with meaning. And crucially, the explicit goal, it says, is to show how to apply the lessons in your personal life, work, relationships, and mindset. So it's really positioning the Gita as almost like a practical guide for navigating modern life.
And it also mentions plans for occasional special episodes. These would focus on key themes like karma yoga or detachment, faith, self-realization, stuff like that, which I think reinforces that practical angle again. It's not just reading verses. It's about exploring these big, actionable ideas thematically. It suggests a deeper dive into concepts that you can actually use.
Yeah, that focus on making something so profound feel, manageable and useful seems key. The script wraps up by saying the series aims to be short yet meaningful. Something you could listen to for a morning reflection, a mindful evening walk, or whenever you need a moment of clarity. It's all about weaving these big ideas into your everyday life, not making it some huge, daunting task. So taking a step back, what have we learned from looking at this intro script?
Well, our deep dive really shows how the Bhagavad Gita is being presented today as incredibly relevant. Still, its position is this timeless guide helping you navigate, both your own inner stuff and the chaos outside, offering real practical insights for your life, your work, relationships, even just how you think about things.
Absolutely. And there's a line near the end of the source script that really sticks with me. It says, let the Gita not just be heard, but felt, absorbed, and lived. Quite powerful, isn't it? Which kind of leads to a final thought for you, the listener, to maybe mull over. The script calls the Gita a call to awaken your inner warrior, your inner peace, and your higher self. So the question is, how do you think understanding principles like these universal ideas about duty, peace, self-awareness, how could that actually empower you when you face your own challenges, whether they feel big or small?